Rahim. Assalamu alaikum. Abdul Rashid K here, Assistant Professor, Subject English, Government Degree College Madeji, District Shikarpur. My cell number is 0300 3010 My dear students, this is my sixth lecture on the prisoner of Zenda, a book that is prescribed on the intermediate level. Now, at the end of third chapter of the story, we concluded that Rodolphe Rossendel, Rodolphe Elfer, Colonel Saft and Fritz take lunch, take dinner at the castle of Zenda. After dinner, they take a large quantity of wine and all the four get unconscious. But Rodolphe Elfer falls completely insensible because at the end of the dinner, Joseph, a domestic servant of the king, brings a bottle of wine that he says to the king that it is brought on the orders of Black Michael and it is a special gift for a brother from a brother. So Rodolphe Elfer V is to be crowned tomorrow as the fifth king of Ruritania. He takes that full bottle of wine and he falls asleep on the table by putting his arms. Now this is the end of the third chapter. Now today we are going to start the fourth chapter. Let's see what happens. The king is sensible the next morning, the day of the coronation, because the wine was drugged. Saft and Fritz are certain that Black Michael will spread the story that the king was too drunk to attend his own coronation and will seize the throne for himself. They persuade Rossendel to save the throne for the king by impersonating him and going through the coronation in his place. He is made clean-shaven like the king and dressed in the cellar of the lodge. Joseph, the trusty servant, is left there. The only other servant, mother of Johann, the duke's gamekeeper, is plainly untrustworthy and has to be bound and gagged. The plan is for Rossendel to return secretly with Saft that night. Saft will take the king back to Stritsa and Rossendel will get across the frontier. Rossendel, now impersonating the king, goes by train to Stritsa with Saft and Fritz. This is the summary of the chapter number 4. Now let's read the text of the chapter number 4, what Rossendel, the hero of the story, says. Now this is chapter number 4. Rossendel says, whether I had slept a minute or a year, I know not. He says that he doesn't know whether he slept for a minute or for one complete year after taking the wine. All the four fell unconscious. I awoke with a start and a shiver. My face, hair and clothes dripped water, and opposite me stood old Saft, a sneering smile on his face and an empty bucket in his hand. On the table by him sat Fritz von Tollenim, pale as a ghost and black as a crow under the eyes. Because Saft and Fritz woke up earlier because they had to leave for Strelsa for coronation ceremony. When they entered the room of the king, they saw him falling asleep. And again, when they went to the room of Rudolf Rassendyll, he was also unconscious. He was also lying unconscious in his room. They were very much worried how to wake up the king and take him to Strelsa. So they used water and dropped that bucket of water on the king. They tried to make him wake up, but he could not. All their efforts ended in smoke, but he could not wake up. Then they came to the room where Rudolf Rassendyll was sleeping, and now they used water again on the faces, on the body of Rudolf Rassendyll. Rassendyll woke up. He says, "I leaped to my feet in anger." He got angry because the treatment of Sapt and Fitz was not pleasant. It was not a good way that he was made wake up. "Your joke goes too far, sir," I cried. "Tut, man, we have no time for quarreling. Nothing else would rouse you. It is 5 o'clock. I'll thank you, Colonel Sabja," I began again, hot in spirit, though I was uncommonly cold in body. Rassendyll interrupted Fitz, getting down from the table and taking my arm. "Look here." The king lay full length on the floor. His face was red as his hair, and he breathed heavily. Sapt, the disrespectful old dog, kicked him sharply. He did not stir, nor was there any break in his breathing. I saw that his face and head were wet with water as were mine. "We have spent half an hour on him," said Fitz. "He drank 3 times what either of you did," growled Sapt. I knelt down and felt his pulse. It was alarmingly languid and slow. We three looked at one another. Was it drugged? Means was that wine of bottle brought by Joseph last night, was it drugged? That lost bottle, I asked in a whisper. "I don't know," said Sapt. "We must get a doctor. There is none within 10 miles, and 100 doctors would not take him to Strelsa today. I know the look of it. He will not move for 6 or 7 hours yet. But the coronation, फिर कोरोनेशन का क्या होगा? रस्म ताजपोशी का क्या होगा अगर भाषण नहीं उठा, वो सेंसस में नहीं आया तो फिर क्या होगा? I cried in horror. Fitz shrugged his shoulders. फिर उसने कहा, मैं क्या जानता हूँ? As I began to see was his habit on most occasions. It was his habit shrugging his shoulders when he could not see any solution to matter. Fitz used to shrug his shoulders. "We must send word that he is ill," he said. Fitz suggested that we should send a message to Strelsa that the king is not in a condition, not to tell them that he has taken wine, but he is not in a position to come to Strelsa and participate in the coronation ceremony. He suggested. Fitz subjects. "I suppose so," said I. I also agreed with Fitz that we should send a word. Old Sapt, who seemed as fresh as a daisy, had lit his pipe and was puffing hard at it. Fitz, Rudolf Rassendyll, but very much uneasy. But Sapt was not. He looked as fresh as a daisy of law. But he was thinking what to do. He was looking for any plan to cope with the situation. "If he is not crowned today," said he, I lay a crown, he is never crowned. That means Sept was of the opinion that Rudolf Ellsberg at any cost must reach Strelsa and he must be crowned, because if he is not crowned today, he will lose the crown forever. But heavens word, Rudolf Rossendel asks, the whole nation is there to meet him, half the army, and Black Michael at the head. Shall we send word that the king is drunk? That he is ill, said I in correction. Rossendel brother tried to correct the sentence of Sapt that no, we should not say to the people, we should not send the word to Strelsa that the king is drunk. King is unconscious because he has taken wine. No, but we will send the word, we will send the message with the words that he is not feeling well. So, rather he was suggesting that coronation must be postponed. Colonel said, with a scornful laugh. He started laughing with hatred. They know his illness too well. Ruritanians know what disease Rudolf Ellsberg has oftenly. They know. He has been ill before. That means Ruritanians know, the army knows, everybody almost in Ruritania knows that king is very much fond of wine. He must have taken wine and was falling unconscious. Well, we must chance what they think, said Fritz helplessly. I'll carry the news and make the best of it. Fritz again suggested that he himself would go to Strelsa and would try to make the people understand. He will try his best to ensure the people of Ruritania and the Ruritania army that king is really ill. Sapt raised his hand. Sapt raised his hand. Means no. No message will be sent to Strelsa. Tell me, said he, do you think the king was drugged? I do say that. I was also sure that yes. The lost bottle brought by Michael was surely drugged. And who drugged him? And who drugged him? Rudolf Rossendel wanted to confirm. That damned hound, Black Michael. Scornful words used by Fritz for Black Michael. He calls Black Michael a dog. Said Sapt that he might not come to be crowned. Rossendel here doesn't know or pretty Michael. What think you, Fritz? Has Michael no king ready? Has half Strelsa no other candidate? As God is alive, man, the throne is lost if the king show himself not in Strelsa today. I know Black Michael. Sapt is determined. At any cost, he wants to go to Strelsa with king, or otherwise any way to find out. But he is determined not to give any chance, any opportunity to Black Michael to be the king of Ruritania. Because if army sees that there is no king, if Ruritanians say that there is absence of the real king, naturally a plan would come from any corner that if Rudolf Ellsberg has not reached even a very important event of his life, when he is to be crowned, now we have the candidate. They have a candidate. Black Michael is their candidate because you know that almost many of the people in Strelza like that Michael should be king. So Michael would be a right candidate for the people as their ruler. But Sabt did not like it at any cost. We could carry him there, said I. Now this is proposal given by Rudolf Rossendel that we should carry in an unconscious state of king. And a very pretty picture he makes of Synod Sapt. First one told buried his face in his hands. First hid his face in his hands. He covered his face in his face. Now this speaks that he is very much worried about king and the throne. The king breathed loudly and heavily. Sapt stirred him again with his foot. The drunken talk, very unpleasant words used by Sapt for the king. But this is his faithfulness. This shows his faithfulness when he uses even abusive words for Rudolf Elphberg. Now this shows his loyalty with the Elphberg family. Because if he fears that if king is not crowned today, he will not be crowned anything. But he is an Elphberg and the son of his father, and may I rot in hell before Black Michael sits in his place. Now this is Sapt's faithfulness and determination that at any cost he shall not let Black Michael sit on the throne and marry Princess Flavia. It is not his right. And this chance he will not be given at any cost. This is determination of Sapt. For a moment or two, we are all silent. They were rather helpless what to do. Then Sapt, knitting his bushy hair, brows, took his pipe from his mouth and said to me, as a man grows old, he believes in fate. Fate sent you here, fate sends you now to Strelza. This is belief of Sapt. He believes in fate, the decisions of fate. He says that fate has brought you here from London, then Paris, then Dresden, now in Zenda, and from Zenda fate will take you to Strelza. On listening this dialogue and proposal of Sapt, Rossendel says, I staggered back, murmuring, good God. He shivered because it was a great risk to be the king of any country. Fate looked up with an eager, bewildered gaze. Impossible, I muttered. Impossible, I muttered. I should be known. Means Ruritans will come to know that I am not the king. I am a foreigner. It's a risk against a certainty, said Colonel Sapt. Colonel Sapt said that yes, it is a risk against certainty. But he is certain that Rudolf Rossendel looks so similar in personality, he resembles so closely with Elphberg 5 that no one in Ruritania would come to know as who is he. But people will be sure that the king is there for his coronation. This is, I repeat, it's a risk against a certainty, said Sapt. If you shave, I'll wager. तुम शेव करवाओ, मैं शर्त रखता हूं. You will not be known. People would not know you that you are a sinner. Are you afraid? डरते हो? Sir, रासेंडल सर जब बोलता है सर, नहीं डरता. Come lad, come boy, lad, lad, come boy, come young man. There, but it's your life, you know. If you are known and mine, and Fades is here, means it's the risk of we all three people. It's not the risk of Rudolf Brassendel even, but it's the risk of Sap, it's the risk of Fades if they are known that they have brought a stranger, a foreigner, and they have asked them impersonation, for making impersonation. It is a risk of all three. Brassendel is not alone in this risk. But if you don't go, I swear to you, Black Michael will sit tonight on the throne. But if Rudolf Brassendel doesn't perform the role of an impostor, if he does not impersonate, if he does not act as the king on the day of coronation, then Sapt swears, Sapt takes an oath that Black Michael would sit tonight on the throne and the king lie in prison or his grave. ब्लैक माइकल खुद तक पे जाके बैठेगा, बादशाह बन जाएगा, फिर असली बादशाह जो है वो या तो उसकी जेल में होगा या वो अपनी कब्र में होगा. द किंग वुड नेवर फॉरगेट. फिर बादशाह हमें माफ नहीं करेगा, हम सबको माफ नहीं करेगा. आर वी वीमेन? व्हाई केयर्स ऑफ हिज फॉरगिवनेस? हम क्या औरतें हैं? हम डरते हैं बादशाह से? जो समझता है समझ ले, हमें माफ करे या ना करे, हम ये रिस्क नहीं उठाएंगे. रुडोल्फ ब्रासेंडेल ने कहा, because it was a great risk. The clock ticked 50 times and 60 and 70 times. As I stood and thought, मैं सोच रहा था कि ये करना चाहिए, मुझे नहीं करना चाहिए. ये impersonation मुझे करनी चाहिए, नहीं करनी चाहिए. Impersonation, by impersonation I mean that to act in the position of some other person, किसी दूसरे का रूप धारना. ब्रासेंडेल कह रहा है कि मैं सोच रहा था कि मुझे ये रिस्क लेनी चाहिए, नहीं लेनी चाहिए. Then I suppose a look came over my face, for old Sapt caught me by the hand. Sapt caught by the hand of Rudolf Brassendel and asks him, "You will go? क्या तुम चलोगे?" "Yes, I will go," said I. हाँ, मैं जरूर चलूंगा. And I turned my eyes on the prostrate figure of the king on the floor. The real king was still lying unconscious. Tonight, Sapt went on in a hasty whisper, "We are to lodge in the palace. The moment they leave us, you and I'll mount our horses. Fades must stay there and guard the king's room and ride here at gallop. The king will be ready. Joseph will tell him, and he must ride back with me to Strelsa, and you ride as the devil or behind you to the frontier." This is planning that Sapt hastily made up. I took it all in a second. Means I understood every point that of the planning that hurriedly Sapt made and nodded my head, and I told him that yes, I got every point of your plan. "There is a chance," said Fades, with his first sign of hopefulness. There came hopefulness on the face of Fades. "If I escape detection," said I, "if we are detected," said Sapt, I'll send Black Michael down below before I do myself. Now again this shows bravery, faithfulness of Sabt, that he says that if we are detected, if people, if the army, if masses of the country come to know that the man who is being made the king of Rujina, he is not Rudolf Elphberg. If we are detected, if we are known, he says that first of all, the first work that I'll do is to kill Michael and then see what happens. So help me heaven, sit in that chair, man. I obeyed him. Sept asks Rassendyll to sit in the chair. He darted from the room, calling Joseph, Joseph. Sapt is calling Joseph because in 3 minutes he was back and Joseph with him. The latter carried a jug of hot water, soap and razors. He was traveling as Sapt told him how the land lay and bade him share me. Colonel Sapt brought Joseph and ordered him to shave the beard of Rudolf Rassendyll. Suddenly felt the smart on his thigh. But the God, they will know. No, gods will know that this is a stranger, this is a foreigner, this is not Rudolf Elphberg V. We shan't wait for the God. We will ride to have fun and catch a train there. When they come, the birds will be flown. But the king, इस बादशाह का क्या करना होगा जो बेहोश पड़ा है? The king will be in the wine cellar. इसको शराब खाने में रखेंगे. I am going to carry him there now. मैं उसको ले जाता हूँ. If they find him, means अगर ब्लैक माइकल के बंदे आ गए कासल ऑफ ज़ेंडा में और उन्होंने देख लिया कि असल बादशाह तो यहाँ पड़ा है, फिर they won't, वो नहीं आएंगे. How should they? Joseph will put them off. जोसेफ अगर आए भी तो जोसेफ उनको टाल देगा. But Sapt stand is, we are not playing, he wrote. May God not. I know the risk. If they do find him, he is no worse off than if he isn't ground today in his streets. अगर उसको ढूंढ लिया भी गया, अगर ब्लैक माइकल के बंधु ने उसको यहाँ शूटिंग लॉज में देख भी लिया, तो इसका अंजाम वो उस तरह का बुरा नहीं होगा जिस तरह अगर इससे तख्त छीना जाए आज स्टिल सामने. So speaking, he flung the door open and stooping, put forth a strength I did not dream he had, and lifted the king in his hands. सैप्ट ने असली बादशाह को अपने हाथों में उठा लिया, ले जा रहा था शराब खाने में रखने के लिए. And as he did so, means when he was carrying the king to the wine cellar, the old woman Johan the gamekeeper's mother, stood in the doorway. जोहन की मदर वहां खड़ी थी और उसने ये सारा तमाशा शायद देख लिया कि असल बादशाह तो यहाँ बेहोश रखा है, इसको वाइन सेलर में डाल के जा रहे हैं और जो है ना वो दूसरे बंदे को, फॉरेनर को बादशाह बना के स्टेट ले जा रहे हैं. For a moment she stood, then he turned on her heel. फिर वो भागने लगी without a sign of surprise and clattered down the passage. Has she heard? cried Fritz. क्या उसने सब कुछ सुन लिया है जो हम बोल रहे थे? I'll shut her mouth, said Sapt grimly. Sapt ने गुस्से से कहा कि मैं उसका मुंह बंद कर दूं. And he bore off the king in his arms. और वो अपने बाजू में बादशाह को ले जा रहा था शराब खाने में डालने के लिए. For me, I sat down in an armchair, and as I sat there, half dazed, Joseph clipped and stabbed me till my mustache and imperial were things of the past, and my face was as bare as the king's. यानी मेरे सारे बाल जो है दाढ़ी के मूंछों के सब उड़ गए और मैं ऐसा ही खाली फेस लग रहा था जैसे रुडोल्फ हेल्फर 5. एंड व्हेन फिट्ज सॉ मी दस, जब फिट्ज ने मुझे इस हाल में देखा, ही ड्रू अ लॉन्ग ब्रेथ, उसने सुकून की सांस ली एंड एक्सक्लेम, और खुशी में कहने लगा, बाय जॉब वी शैल डू इट, कसम खुदा की हम कर देंगे, हम कामयाब हो जाएंगे, हमें कोई पहचानेगा नहीं कि हम एक फॉरेनर को स्ट्रेल्सा में बादशाह बनाने के लिए ले आए. It was 6 o'clock now and we had no time to lose. Sabt hurried me into the king's room. Sabt मुझे बादशाह के कमरे में ले गया, जल्दी जल्दी रासेंडल को ले गया. And I dressed myself in the uniform of a colonel of the guard, finding time as I slipped on the king's boots to ask Sabt what he had done with the old woman. अरे बताओ तो उस old woman के साथ तुमने क्या किया? She had heard nothing. उसने कसम उठाई कि उसने कुछ नहीं सुना. But to make sure, लेकिन फिर भी यकीन करने के लिए, I tied her legs together. मैंने उसकी टांगों को बांध लिया and put a handkerchief in her mouth, और उसके मुंह में रुमाल भी डाल दिया. And bound her hands, उसके हाथ भी बांध दिए. And locked her up in the coal cellar, और कोयला खाना जो है उसमें उसको मैंने लॉक कर दिया. Next door to the king. Joseph will look after them both later on. Then I burst out laughing. फिर मैं हंसने शुरू हो गया. मेरी हंसी खत्म ही नहीं हो रही थी. And even old Sabt grimly smiled. I fancy, said he, that when Joseph tells them the king is gone, they will think it is because we smelt a rat. For you may swear Black Michael doesn't expect to see him in Israel today. I put the king's helmet on my head. Old Sabt handed me the king's sword, looking at me long and carefully. Thank God, he shaved his beard, he exclaimed. Why did he? I asked. Because Princess Philippa disliked it. मैंने पूछा कि बादशाह शेव क्यों करवाता? तो सैब्ट ने जवाब दिया कि प्रिंसेस फिलिपा को ये दाढ़ी वगैरह पसंद नहीं, इसलिए बादशाह शेव करवाता. Though we must write, come, though we must write, आओ तो अपना सफर शुरू करें. Is all safe here? Is all safe here? सब कुछ ठीक है वहाँ? Nothing is safe anywhere, said Sabt. सैब्ट ने कहा, किसी भी जगह कोई भी सलामती नहीं है, कोई भी सेफ्टी नहीं है, रिस्क है. But we can make it no safer. Fitz now rejoined us in the uniform of a captain, in the same regiment as that to which my dress belonged. In 4 minutes, Sabt had arrayed himself in his uniform. Joseph called that the horses were ready. We jumped on their backs and started at a rapid trot. The game had begun. अब गेम शुरू हो चुकी थी. What would the issue of it be? The cool morning air cleared my head, and I was able to take all Sabt said to me. जो कुछ Sabt मुझे बताता गया स्ट्रेल्सा के बारे में, स्ट्रेल्सा के लोगों के बारे में, रस्मों रिवाज के बारे में, मजहब के बारे में, किस तरह करना है, क्या करना है, वो सब मैं समझता गया. He was wonderful. Fitz hardly spoke, riding like a man asleep, but Sabt, without another word for the king, began at once to instruct me most minutely in the history of my past life, of my family, of my tasks, pursuits, weaknesses, festivals, companions, and servants. He told me the etiquette of the Ruritanian court, promising to be constantly at my elbow to point out everybody whom I ought to know, and gave him hints with what degree of favor to greet them. By the way, he said, "You are Catholic, I suppose." "Not I answered." उसने पूछा, तुम कैथोलिक क्रिश्चियन हो? मैंने कहा नहीं. "Lord, he is heretic," growled Sat, and forthwith he fell to a rudimentary lesson in the practices and observances of the Romish faith. "Luckily," said he, "you won't be expecting to know much, for the king's notoriously lax and careless about such matters. But you must be as civil as butter to the foreigner. We hope to win him over because he and Michael have a standing quarrel about their Christians." We were by now at the station. Fades had recovered nerve enough to explain to the astonished station master that the king had changed his plan. The train steamed up. We got into a first-class carriage and sat leaning back on the cushions, went on with his lesson. I looked at my watch. The king's watch it was. Of course, it was just 8. "I wonder if they have gone to look for us." I said, "I hope they won't be find the king," said Fritz nervously, and this time it was Sat who shrugged his shoulder. The train travelled well, and at 9:30, looking out of the window, I saw the towers and spires of a great city, Strelsa. "Your capital, my liege," grinned old Sat. With a wave of his hand and leaning forward, he laid his finger on my pulse. "A little too quick," said he in his grumbling tone. "I am not made of stone," I exclaimed. "You will do," said he with a nod. "We must say Fritz has caught the egg. Drain your flaws, Fritz, for heaven's sake." But Fritz did as he was bid. "We are early," said Sat. "We will send word forward of your Majesty's arrival, for there will be no one here to meet you as us yet. And meanwhile," said I, "the king, he hanged if he doesn't have some breakfast." Old Sat chuckled and held out his hand. "You are an Elphberg, every inch of you," said he. "Means you look every inch Rudolf Elphberg." Then he paused and looking at us, and quietly, "God send we may be alive tonight." "Amen," said Fitzpatrick. The train stopped. Fritz and Sat leaped out, uncovered, and held the door for me. I choked down a lump what rose in my throat, settled my helmet firmly on my head, and I am not ashamed to say it, breathed a short prayer to God. Then I stepped on the platform of the station of Strelsa. A moment later, all was bustle and confusion. Men hurrying up, hats in hand, and hurrying off. Again, men conduct me to the buffet. Men mounting a riding in hot haste to the quarters of the troops, to the cathedral, to the residence of Duke Michael. Even as I swallowed the last drop of my cup of coffee, the bells throughout all the city broke out into a joyful peal, and the sound of a military band and of men cheering smote upon my car. King Rudolph V was in his good city of Strelsa, and they shouted outside, "God save the king!" Now these are the prayers of the people. They were very happy to see the king in this Strelsa. The old chef's mouth wrinkled into a smile. "God save them both," he whispered. "Courage, lad. Himmat karo ladke, himmat karo." And I felt his hand press my knee. वो मेरे घुटने पर हाथ से जोर लगा रहा था। हिम्मत करो लड़का, हिम्मत करो जवान, हिम्मत करो, हम अजीम शहर में आ चुके